One, two, three.
Yeah! Let me do it.
It's been something really quite extraordinary, and the teachers and the students who've come into the space have really owned it, and you'll see from the rest of the footage how much art, how much music, how much dance, all sorts of things have been going on.
Too often, I think, in society, when people take an interest in students with special educational needs or disabilities, it can be in a patronising way, or it can be, I'd like to help that person, or, that poor person can't do this and can't do that. But we don't believe that here at the village. We believe our students are all talented, but they're uniquely talented. And it's a matter of finding what those talents are. And we're hoping that during the Tate Exchange, some of those things will be shown, so the public will learn how much people with special educational needs and disabilities have to offer to society.
Huh?
Have you been to the Tate Gallery before?
No.
What do you think it's going to be like?
Amazing.
This week we are absolutely privileged to be working with A New Direction and Studio Wayne McGregor, who bring a programme that has been many, many months in the planning, and for us really exciting to be working alongside them in shaping plans with them for Tate Exchange.
Well, Tate Exchange is an opportunity for some young people with special educational needs and disabilities to come with their schoolmates into an amazing cultural space to create work, to respond to other people's work, and also to enable the public to gain an insight into what a day in the life might be like for someone in a special school, and to have a dialogue that is meaningful for them, even though they may not necessarily be in the space at the same time.
Special needs schools are isolated by nature. There's not many of us. In London there are a few of us, and it's really nice to actually meet up and explore practice.
With the current political landscape, the arts are changing quite a lot. Their place in schools and the way that they're taught. What we bring as a group of SEND practitioners is a wealth of knowledge about the impact that the arts has for our children and young people. As the network continues and we bring all our creative voices together, I think that the learning, the research and the message that we want to share will become very powerful.
Go up, arms go down, arms go.
We know that a lot of these teachers are really leading in arts and culture, and they're doing stuff that is just part of their everyday teaching routine, which other teachers may not be aware of or may not have the opportunity to do because of the different kind of nature of the curriculum. So these teachers are really kind of leading in arts and culture, and we wanted to make that visible.
We work a lot with artists, responding to artists' work as a stimuli, and the Rauschenberg show was on.
Robert Rauschenberg he's a sick artist and awesome artist.
So in class, we began by basically responding to images of his work, which contains road signs, buildings, things that they can recognise and talk about. So that's really good for encouraging language.
We made
Robert Rauschenberg
a box.
And we painted.
We put some pictures and some painted and colour, because the Russian bird, he liked to paint and he liked different colours and he liked the signs. We sit on it, the box, and we close it and we open it.
I'm so excited to see all his pictures when we get there.
Here we are doing a collage of what is happening in 2016 to 2017. We're doing rich and poor. Yeah, we're just comparing them from the artwork we've seen in the Rauschenberg expedition.
I've been working with the young people at the Tate Exchange on a sound collage. So I accompanied the young people through all the galleries, all of their work at the stations, creating art and doing the dance workshops.
Hayley, who spends quite a lot of time isolated and likes to withdraw, kind of took Lucy's gazebo over and spent a whole afternoon working on sounds. So that opportunity in the hand-run daily school environment and all the pressures that educationists have to be under is very valuable.
You know, there's so many different ways that young people with disabilities communicate, and having kind of that insight into a different way of communication really kind of, I guess, hit home.
One of those highlights is one of those bands called The Backdrop. I really like the songs a lot, and I am pretty much the #1 fan of The Backdrop, really.
We've got a wide range of pupils in the band. Their experiences is that actually a lot of the time they find it easier to sing than more traditional forms of communication. So for example, we've recently performed at the Albert Hall in front of thousands of people, and our lead singer, a young man with disability, total confidence in front of that amount of people, commanded, the Albert Hall singing. If you asked him to read in front of even half a dozen people, completely different proposition for him. So that's the power.
So far, we watched an amazing performance by the Vale School.
Yeah, Backdrop.
Backdrop. And we just looked at this one structure here, and it was so amazing. It's really cool. We took a selfie with it.
I think for me, the most exciting thing about this week is the programme that A New Direction and Studio Wayne McGregor have put together puts exchange at the very heart of the 4 days. So it's exchanges between schools, special schools that have never worked together. It's exchange between the institutions that are learning to work together in collaborative ways. And crucially, it's an exchange with the public who are, for the first time, some of them probably seeing this work made visible.
When I perform, I like to prove to people that I can do it. Because when I was younger, there were people like, you can't do this. It was always like, you can't do this, that. So I just like to prove to people wrong that you can do it. Put a smile up their face.
So as well as all of the work that the schools have been involved with in the Tate Exchange, there's also been lots of kind of other complementary activities happening alongside that. So we've had Studio Wayne McGregor downstairs in the Claw, and they've been leading workshops with students, but also with teachers.
I think it's quite hard to sometimes come up with ideas that are creative and then turn that into a bigger project. I will go back into my class and I will do the activities.
Studio Wayne McGregor are visiting our school for the whole week to choreograph a dance with children ranging from those with moderate learning difficulties to more severe and profound and multiple learning difficulties. The head of secondary has said how amazing it's been to see the dance practitioners working with the children and the sort of relationships and ideas that are coming from it.
There's a really diverse range of students, but all of them seem to get something out of the workshops yesterday. The teaching assistants here are amazing, so they were fully involved physically and intellectually engaged, which meant we've been able to create some really great creative work.
We also had a symposium, and that was about connecting schools and cultural sector organisations who make work with, for or by young people with special needs.
For too many years, we've been told we're not allowed in this sort of establishments. Rubbish. Accessibility is crucial, and I think it's a real testimony to the Tate that they want to start thinking outside the box. And if anything thinks outside the box, it's contemporary art.
I think it's really important that
collections that are culturally accessible are culturally accessible. So these collections that everybody takes for granted that they can pop in and see, that should be a right that everybody has. It can take a lot of work, and things like the SEN network and things like Tate Exchange really help to open those doors. There's a large number of difficulties, very basic ones like transport. So it's very difficult for our young people to get on public transport. It can be very overwhelming, sort of sensory needs, and just completely new experience for them. So having things like somewhere to park the bus when you come to a venue like this in central London is very difficult. I mean, there's a lot of kids that couldn't come just because they can't get on the tube, so there's automatically barriers there in physically getting here. Then it's about having an understanding of the space they're going into. The gallery is a very kind of alien space from the school space or their home environment. So how can we prepare them for that? Can we take videos of the spaces they're going to go into so that they know what it looks like? Once you're here, again, there's lots of challenges around the people who are there. It's a busy space. Is there a quiet space that people can go if it's too difficult for them to be somewhere noisy? Do they have to be quiet because it's a gallery? There's a whole range of barriers to overcome to allow people to be included in an environment like this.
When the students first walk in, they don't quite know what to make of it. It's a little overwhelming with the sights and sounds and activities going on. But then, to the right of us, we have school with musical instruments playing and singing along. And to the left of us, we have people painting and making art on every surface of the space. And then drama workshops going on across the way. So all the schools are kind of working together, and then all the students are kind of slowly just looking around, realizing that they are, I guess, a part of a whole community of students who are just like them in schools that work the same way we do. And then, by the end of it, you're having to drag them out of it to go back home.
What we've laid the foundations of with the Tate Exchange is 14 really engaged schools who will be incredible advocates for their schools, but also what A New Direction want to achieve in terms of equity of access in arts and culture for young people with special needs.
Visibility is a thing that I think is really important. We need visibility within our media, we need visibility within our art spaces, we need visibility within our schools. For me, as a disabled person, seeing people that looked or moved or sounded or talked like I did in cultural spaces, seeing other disabled artists, was what gave me the confidence to feel that that was a space that I could occupy. I want children and young people you all work with to see themselves reflected in all sorts of roles, because that's how we will create change. But we have to make those spaces more accessible.
Well, I like everything. I like everything I do. I like drawing. I like painting. It's just really fun, doing art. And if you love doing it, just do it.